Welcome everyone, my name is Jeremiah William Sebastian. Today I will represent my team, which consists of me, myself, Jeremiah William Sebastian, and my partners who are Sebastian Utomo and Elizabeth Erika. Today we will present about our research, which is skin cancer detection using CNN, a systematic literature review. This research has been supervised by Mr. Rikosan and Mr. Felix Indra Kurniadi. So for today's presentation, we will discuss introduction, methodology, results, and conclusion about our research. As you all know, skin cancer has affected millions of people every year, and there are two major types of skin cancer, which are malignant melanoma and non-melanoma. Skin cancer is diagnosed by dermatologists and specialists. However, the numbers of those dermatologists and specialists are limited, and the cost of getting one consultation is very high, so it's very unlikely that people would actually pay up in order to get a consultation. So many researchers have done their research on trying to detect skin cancer using artificial intelligence, and we have decided on doing a systematic literature review on skin cancer detection using CNN, or convolutional neural network algorithm. And the methodology phase, we will discuss what is a systematic literature review. Well, a systematic literature review is a secondary study which identifies, selects, analyzes, and appraises research to answer formulated questions. There are four major steps in doing an SLR, which are planning, searching, analyzing, and reporting. Planning is a phase where we would formulate and create research questions which would be answered in the later stages of the research. Searching is a phase where we would search up various libraries and keywords in order to get our papers and in order to help us in doing research. Analysis is a phase where we would analyze and select various papers, and we would use predetermined criteria in order to include or exclude papers. Then in the final phase, which is reporting, is a phase where we would summarize all of the contents that we have gathered from various sources and papers. The second phase of methodology is creating the research questions. So as you can see, we have prepared two research questions, which are what are the benefits and drawbacks of using CNN for image recognition. And the second question is how much data or images is recommended to be considered enough to train the convolutional neural network algorithm. In the third phase of methodology, we discussed the data source that most of these papers use. But the majority of the paper use ISIC, or International Skin Imaging Collaboration, and some of them use ImageNet or ISBI. In the data retrieval process, we use several keywords, which are skin lesions, skin cancers, CNN, skin cancer detection, and transfer learning. These keywords are inputted into the libraries in order to get our papers. Then in the study selection, as you can see, there are two criteria, included and excluded. Included is a criteria where we would include the papers into our research, which must include clear data set. The latest published article is 5 years ago, discuss about advantages and disadvantages of CNN. However, there is the excluded criteria, which are published more than 5 years ago, does not correlate to the field of studies, and does not state the dataset used. If any of those papers contain any of these excluded criteria, they will be excluded terminally. Then in the study selection, this is the process where we would select those papers using those predetermined criteria. As you can see, by using those criteria, we could filter out from 2827 or 2827 papers into just 52 papers that we would use to create our SLR. And finally is the result phase. Well, in the results, we have deemed that all those 52 papers that we have selected, they contain sufficient information to help us in creating our SLR. This is the table of the papers that we have extracted. As you can see, from all those 52 papers, it has been diversified across 5 years, and in 2023 alone contains only 2 papers, and in the most papers that we have take is from 2022, which is 16 papers. And we come to the third phase of our results, where we would answer the formulated questions that we have made. So from the first questions, what are the benefits and drawbacks of CNN and for image recognition? Well, CNN does have their own benefits, which are effective in image recognition, and they take less time in training model because CNN does have transfer learning capabilities. However, CNN does need a lot of data in order to be effective and accurate. And there are a lot of architectures of CNN, and if the researchers decide to use a single stack architecture, well, they have the tendency to post biased results. So beware of that. And the second question, how much data or images is recommended to be considered enough to train CNN algorithm? Well, there is no exact answer to this question, but research has shown that large and diverse datasets tend to benefit CNN a lot, since they tend to be able to create more accurate results and more efficient. So in conclusion, CNN does allow extraction of multi-level feature, which allows them to reduce the parameters and computational requirement in order to run CNN. However, CNN does need a large amount of data, and those amounts of data may vary across different architectures. So for future researchers that are planning to use CNN, they must consider these benefits and drawbacks. These are the references that we have used in order for us to create our research. And that concludes our presentation. I want to thank you, Mr. Ricosan and Mr. Felix, for lending their time and effort in order to guide us towards the end of our research. And I want to thank both of you for lending your time and effort to listen to our presentation. Thank you once again. Goodbye.